Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
With guest Justin, actually. Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk with guest Justin Sleba about the transactions that we are funding this week, like every Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Justin, in like 3 sentences or less, how's your week going from a funding standpoint?
East Coast is busy. I'll say that it's been heavy in Virginia, Kentucky, Missouri, in Florida. So the east side of the country is like extremely heavy right now with people getting deals back.
Awesome. Before we really get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Victor asks, hi, I'm from Texas, but I've been wanting to run my land business out of the country. I want to try staying in Costa Rica for a month as a vacation, but still work. The 2 problems I think I'll run into is 1, title companies want me to physically sign, sometimes for larger properties. 2, sending cashier's checks for smaller properties. I guess I can give my employee access to my bank account to make cashier's checks, but that makes me nervous. Anyone doing this successfully? Unfortunately, we have a lot of people in our world that are doing this successfully. We just had a guy, by the way, re-enroll.
Mm-hmm.
He was a member for a while. He left and he just came back. It was like one of those, that's usually when people leave. It's usually a life situation and then they come back. It's awesome how many people come back. But the guy's in Austria.
Oh, wow.
You know? Mm-hmm. So
that's a time zone change.
Isn't that wild? So yeah.
Well, the good news is Costa Rica is the same time zone. So you're all set there. And then Jill and I run our whole business and we teach, especially in Land Academy 2.0 and now House Academy 1.0, we teach how to have your business completely run. You just oversee everything, kind of do the approvals and get everybody else to do it. So our business is that way now. Mm-hmm. We just do the approvals and kind of oversee the deal. So you should be striving for that anyway. Jill and I separate our our operational banking environment so that there's one bank that has most of the money in it. Mm-hmm. And then there's what we call an operational bank account that gets filled up. It's technically an impressed account. Pretty much goes to zero, then we fill it back up. And that
just for transactions.
And the operations people have access to it. Yeah. So it only ever gets a certain amount of money. They can't really touch the real gold. So long story short, there's solutions to all this stuff. You could do a specific power of attorney with somebody that you trust somewhere in the States and make that your mailing address. So if you really sit down and think about it, we have a lot of members who are all over the world. Japan, Austria, Australia. So
Europe.
I saved this question for Friday for you, Justin, because I'm wondering how many deals you get submitted from overseas people.
I actually haven't had any. So I've had some consulting clients. That's a client from Singapore. He's actually sending his dad to our live event. So his dad's trying to get involved. So he has somebody stateside for him. His dad flips houses. So he's bringing him over. So we actually haven't had anybody submit anything from that. I mean, it works well if you use somebody like us that's going to sign on the bigger properties. We fund it with you and we're partnering and you have that built in. You're just you're sending the mail, getting the leads, negotiate the deal, then we take care of it and you find a title agent.
That's a good solution.
Yeah.
So it works well with the Finance Friday crew if it's either you or us or whomever is doing that partnership with you since we hold title. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great solution too.
Today's topic, Finance Friday with Stephen, Jill, and Justin. This is the meat of the show. All right, Justin. Give us the rundown on what happened this week.
Man, I told y'all last week we were getting to our upper limits, and this week I had about 7 deals come in that were too good to pass up. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, I got to do it. Yes, I'll do it. Yep, okay, I can do this one. And it's not like one deal they're sending like 4 or 5, and you're okay in 3 or 4 of them. So as we see the qualities coming up, as the managers that we call them in this investment world, we call them our managers, they are figuring out, exactly what we're looking for, the area, the pricing margin, it's the worst conversation I'm having right now is, hey, this makes money for you, so do the deal. It doesn't work for me as a partner because, we're going to spend $12,000 and it's going to sell really quickly for 20. So you're going to make some money. So this is a perfect deal for you on your own. Okay, well, so you're having a bunch of those come in, but it's been a lot of really good deals that have been too good to pass up. And I'm like at the point, well, I'm waiting on this closing to pay for that closing, and I'm injecting my own cash now. So it's kind of like I've even asked some of them. I was like, hey, I'll wholesale the deal. You can just sell it to me, and I'll do it if you can't fund it because I'll put it in my other land business. But it's a good problem to have. It really is.
It's a total bell curve. You get there on the left end. There's properties that come in that no one should be doing. In fact, they're not real deals. I think it's just that they want our. I think sometimes people submit stuff to us because they want our attention because
they want to talk.
Yeah.
And then their middle deals. There's a ton of properties that are really good deals, but they're not. There's a lot of fingers in the pie when you do a funding thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So they should get done. That's what Land Tank's for.
Yep.
So get them in a Land Tank and then find another partner because then you can get that deal done.
Yeah.
And then there's the ones on the right where we're running to the bank.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I had actually one of the guys that he bought wholesale from me. I've talked about him before on the show. Then he bought wholesale houses from me, taught him how to do land. He's killed it in land last year. He's actually left his job as a fireman. So he's just full-time real estate investor now. And he uses the direct mail method for houses and land. Cool. And so he called me yesterday, or a couple of days ago. He's like, I was on Land Tank. Can you explain this to me? Because somebody had their numbers wrong in there. Yeah. And so he's like, I just don't get how you make money off this. It's a $3,000 deal. They expect it to make for $3,500 and there's a $2,000 budget. He's like, I'm not getting what we're putting down here. And I was like, I think the guy put the wrong numbers in. And that's great that we're seeing guys like that have, in real estate last year, I bet he made 600, 700 grand. And he's looking at Land Tank. So it's generating that additional thing that says, hey, I could throw some money there and help out. So
we're still in the beta version of Land Tank. And that's what Jill's really a little huffy about. Because I agree with you completely. Land Tank is not, when you go on it should be ultra clear how it works and how great it is.
Yeah.
It's going to change quickly.
Yeah.
Trust me. Right after this.
The tool is just not explained correct. And it's not complicated.
No.
It's not a complicated concept.
No.
I think when you have multiple people bringing in their information and trying to put it and explain a deal, everybody explains a deal differently. There may be something that I look just numbers and somebody else may be like, oh man, hey, this is this little old lady that, she needs to sell it. So what do you think we should offer? And that's kind of what I'm starting to see now in bigger deals, that people are scared to make an offer. They have a deal come back and they're wanting to talk about it and say, hey, what would you offer on this? But I'll let you fund it if you decide. And I'm like, hey, it's not necessarily how it works. We'll help you there, but it's not necessarily what we're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how I am. I kind of want, one of my things is, do you have a signed purchase agreement?
Yeah.
And if you have that buy-in, then we still have some deals that we'll go back. And as long as you have yes, now you have my attention. Okay. Yeah. Now I'll go do my research. We'll look at it. And then based on our findings, maybe we pull an info report and find something big on it. And then we'll go back and say, now we can renegotiate with this information.
Yeah.
But I need that initial buy-in. I don't want, they're thinking of selling to me because our time is too valuable, as you know, and too many ready-to-go deals.
And this whole deal funding concept, everybody is like less than 90 days old.
Yep.
So we're still kind of...
That's true. Finding our way.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually talked about, one of the expectations of the time period on there, like in Land Tank, it has an expected time period. And, actually what that concept looks like and how to actually speed that up and how to do that, so being on MLS, I'll get some guys say, oh yeah, I'm going to list it on Craigslist and Zillow and on my sell site. I'm like, okay, well, your sell site probably doesn't have the hits of everything. Yeah. So let's speed it up. And what other avenues do we have? So, that be everywhere strategy, just get out there and put that in there and have this conversation.
It's the single best thing besides getting a good deal. Mm-hmm. It's the single best thing you can do. And it gets overlooked. And I, we've said it till we're blue in the face, pretty much almost literally. And, for whatever reason, it's just, you have to post it everywhere.
Yep. Yeah. And then we're still seeing some.
It could be fantastically priced. And if you don't get it to the right people, they're not going to know.
Right.
Yeah. So. We're seeing some little stuff with access still pop up. It's has a 2-track that comes off a main road. You can see it's a platted easement, but it's really not taken care of. We're still sticking to the maintained stuff. And I'll tell people, I say, hey, this is a good deal. Like it's priced right. You're spot on. You're giving 10.5. It's going to sell for 28, 29,000. I stick to maintain roads. It's just a personal thing, but you need to get this in front of either land investors or Land Tank, and somebody's going to help you make some money on this deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
This is good. We have a great thing going.
When we get out of the beta version of Land Tank itself, I think that it's going to take a couple months realistically for it to be very clearly understood when you go to the site. But I think I see it like there were several deals in there this month that got picked up. Mm-hmm. Actually, they're Luke Smith, pretty expensive deals that got almost immediately. And so one of the things that everybody's asking for, the money people, is I need a text to know when something gets submitted so I can review it really quick and go in there.
That's going to be part of it.
And that's
That's coming.
That's the, we had I was on a Trello board with one of the members, and his setup's really cool the way they have it set up, but it would send a notification. Well, they're in California, Central Coast, just a time period. So when they would drop the properties on, it would be 10 o'clock at night for me. Oh, I'm already in bed. And so you see stuff like that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's maybe a submission in a time period. So every morning, 8 o'clock Pacific time, it drops, and that's when everything goes that day. So it's not, guys, middle of the night because VA's putting it on. Because
I like that way. Here's Justin in bed with the laptop.
Yeah, trying to get on there, trying to hit okay.
Trying not to wake Jessica. She's up.
And I've done it because I'm like, I'll look at the numbers. I'm like, oh, those numbers are pretty good. Then I'll click on their parcel map, and I'm like, shit, I need to get on a computer. So I'm getting up and
Justin drops to the floor, crawls to his computer in his office,
running across the house.
Put a monitor on your ceiling above your bed. So
that's good. Perfect. Yeah. That'll go over really well.
So romantic. Exactly. That's really going to happen. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But that's
maybe can you move your hand? I need to see that deal.
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago with women that women are not impressed by how much money you make and what you do for a living.
Yeah.
They're most impressed when you compliment them.
It's got to be good.
What's about me?
It's all about them. And then if you look good, that's helpful for them. But it's really because
it's not embarrassing.
You look good standing next to them.
Yeah.
So
you make them look better.
If you go into a blind date and talk about your job and how great you are at something, it's going to last like 5 minutes.
That's true. We don't want the brag.
And men are wired for that.
Yeah.
They don't want to say. They think they're impressing you. Like, oh man, I got this great job and this whole thing is awesome. And they're like, whatever. Who cares? Go tell somebody else. What about me?
No, but let me ask you a question. How do you explain what you do now? Like as a full-time land investor, like what all we do? I don't know how to explain that. Somebody goes, oh, you're in real estate. And I go, yeah, kind of.
We always have to say we're not licensed. We're not a broker. It's like always has to come out. And then they're even more confused.
Yeah.
We just explained it yesterday. And I said, we buy and sell commercial land all over the country. We don't have any investors and we're not licensed.
Yep.
And they just could have sort of tried to process it. And this is what they said. You'll get a kick out of this. Well, there's no more land left.
Yeah.
Where do you buy land? There isn't any left because they're in this tiny little beach community we're in where there really is no land left. Yeah. But they're not thinking outside of 2 zip codes.
She gave one area code. Oh, that must be 909. That's the only one I know of. The 909?
There's no land left.
What the heck?
Literally, it's a extremely
I don't even know where 909 is.
Former politician. Former finance expert, very bright individual. Man.
Yes.
Oh, no.
And she's just like, there's no land left.
Yeah.
It's some classic stuff.
It was funny. Yeah, I don't have a good explanation. I try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's what I had a phone call today from a girl. She's like, hey, you're in real estate, right? And I was like, I'm not a broker or an agent. And she's like, you buy houses? And I was like, yeah, I can buy houses. What do you have? And she's like, my grandma needs to sell her house. It's like, is it paid off? She's like, yeah, it's paid off. I was like, great. She's like 5 bedrooms, 2 shops, 2 bathrooms. We need to sell it. We don't want to stage it. We don't want to do anything with it. And I was like,
perfect.
Great. She's like, she needs to leave in June. And I was like, okay, I could probably do a lease back or something. We can figure that out. I'm flexible. So long story short, after about trying to figure out what she needed, we meet next week and we're going to have a conversation. So it'll be good. We'll walk it and see if we can get to a deal.
What would you do if you got that call?
Now that's good. I would do that.
I wouldn't. I would say that's not how it works.
Well, I mean, at least there's no agent in between.
Yeah.
But the only thing is some of those, they unless they get an offer from us, I've yet to find someone that has a realistic expectation of the price. All they know is the Mr. Jones next door sold for, 500,000.
Nah, they don't. We don't even know if they want.
So mine should be 480, right?
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of talking.
It'll be a little talking. I know it's not the normal thing, but it kills some time sometimes. That's what got me in trouble last time. I said that it kills me time. 4 months later, I got 2 houses I'm sitting on.
Yep.
So, but all those are sold now. That's good.
Yay.
It's like walking into a dealership. I'm just looking around. No, you're not. You're going to walk out after 4 hours. You're going to drive a car away.
That's true.
Even though you feel bad about it the whole time.
Yeah, you feel dirty the whole time. Just lost.
All right, deals. Are we going to talk about any deals, or do we need to talk about any deals?
Got your sheet pulled up here.
I'm like, I finally have a system. I have by Friday, I have my team telling me on Friday how much money that needs to be in the account for the next week.
Nice.
What days the closings are going to happen. I've given them certain days that I'm available to sign.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, thank you. So I know what's going to happen. We have a system where they give me all the wiring instructions, and at one specific time I wire the money, and that's it. And reviewing is going even faster and easier. And I'm getting, I think I'm getting a little more quality deals now.
That's what it looks like to me.
I'm noticing.
Very diverse.
And what's great is my team is now learning too to what I'm looking for. So when they enter it in the spreadsheet for me to look at, they already have their own notes. Like, I already looked. There's no access. This is a problem. That's a problem. Whatever it is, they have done a few little initial things. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's really nice. That saves me a little time. So, and then I'm just going back. A lot of it is, I'm sure you're finding too, I'm still coaching a lot of people like, have you checked this? Have you checked that? And what about this? And they're like, oh, I didn't know,
Yeah. So we had a smoking deal on a property come in 2 days ago. It was in Oklahoma, and just beautiful, well-treed, great access off a major highway just outside. It's essentially would be a 5 acre or 6 acre estate for this small town that's there. Like it's a beautiful piece of property. Well, he's like, hey, do you know how to self-close in Oklahoma? And I'm like, yeah, because abstract state's kind of expensive. So we start looking through the chain of title, and a stepson was part of the original deed like 4 deeds ago or 5 deeds ago when dad was dying. And I was like, this is why, title was, the best bet, because they'll catch us, but we're going to have to walk through some of the title work. And so it's like, hey, the sister or his daughter can, do the deed stuff. But, that's one of those big things that you catch. You may miss something three titles back that, make sure you go through title on these deals and work through them.
Exactly.
So start putting a little bit more money in.
Yeah, you're right. It's that kind of a stuff that people aren't thinking to look a little bit further.
Yeah. I say go ahead and grab a vesting deed so we can look at it.
Exactly. So. Save yourself some time. There's a reason why we have Title Pro 24/7. We can all go back and look at things. It's very nice.
Here's some big picture numbers. I just did all the math.
Okay.
We had $6.7 million worth of acquisition opportunity submitted. This is on day 30. Of opening this whole thing, and we've had That's
a cool number.
About $17 million of sales side opportunity.
Nice.
So that's just insane. And we've got this will give you an idea of the whole thing. And we've placed 120,000, I think.
Oh, it's on the. Oh yeah.
I don't
literally placed. So.
I'm having computer issues all of a sudden.
Okay.
I don't know honestly why this would happen, but it is what it is. About close to 100,000 or a little over 100,000, and we expect to generate within 60 to 90 days conservatively about 700.
Yeah,
like 650. So we
have 275 out right now, and I've got another 200 waiting in escrow to close, and then that'll generate about 1.3.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's great.
So, and we'll split that with the manager. So it's not all us. It's split.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not all us either. That's just a transaction. We'll split the net proceeds after that. So again, just to reiterate, I'm not bragging, and I know Justin's not either. We're filling a need here.
Yeah.
I call it now like alternative financing.
Yep. I'd love to. I'd love to jump around the SEC stuff and be able just to bring in everybody else's money and put it all to work. But it's just, it's unfortunate right now what we have to watch with the government and the swindlers have happened in the past.
Exactly.
And that'll happen in the future, and we'll dot the I's and cross the T's on it. If there's that much of a need.
Well, I see our members using it in the right way too, because we did a show I think it was yesterday or one day this week, called The Velocity of Money.
Yeah, perfect show.
I'm seeing them using us to, they're allocating their own funds for plenty of deals, but now they can bring us in and allocate and use our funds to get them there faster.
Yeah.
That's the way you should be doing it.
Yep, exactly.
Brilliant.
Right. Exactly right.
See any downside to this, Justin? Been doing it for a while.
The biggest downside I see, and this is a personal thing, it's not on the business or the model, is that I see all the deals that are getting done and where they're going across the country, and I'm like, man, I could make 50% more if I just sent the mail myself and build my team. But at the same time, I get a kickback from helping, and I like the helping, and I like the scalability of this. But at the same time, again, some guys, these investors are bringing out some great deals, and we should be proud of that. Seeing some crap ones, but we're seeing some stuff come out, and we just talked about numbers wise. That's this year, in 3 or 4 months combined. We're not saying this has happened over 2 or 3 years. This is like short term, and it's happened this much. So the need is there, the deals are there, the flows are turning, and with the velocity of money, we're all turning this. It's going to churn this little industry and this niche faster, which is the good part about it. That's what I think. Yep.
We started Land Academy to do deals like this. It's just when we started it, I didn't know how it would manifest itself, but that's what it ended up being funding. So I'm actually, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. So it's just getting it all going, getting people pushed through.
When we launch House Academy, we will simultaneously launch it with some version of this, some version of House Tank.
Nice.
Because I expect to just explode.
Yeah, and that's a little bit easier to get institutional funding, in houses, but you have to know where you're going and what you look for, and the different markets.
It's expensive,
and it's really expensive.
It's financial responsibility, and reporting responsibility can bury you if you don't know what you're doing. So
exactly,
that's why we started it this way, and I'm sure you too.
Yep. Yeah, I had to send out a couple 1099s. That's about it. That's not a bad day.
Yep.
Well, you've done it again. Spend another 20 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy show. Join us next time for another interesting episode.
And we answer your questions posted on our online community at landinvestors.com. It's free.
You're not alone in your real estate ambition.
So what's going on with you this weekend? Anything fun?
I thought we were going to have an I. I had an I. Imagination. You had inspiration, information, imagination.
Well, that's coming up right now. Okay, good. So we'll do wherever you are listening, I'll do that. We'll say we are Stephen, Jill, and Justin. You do information, inspiration, and you do yours. Okay, ready? Okay. Wherever you are watching or wherever you're listening, please rate us there. We are Stephen, Jill, and Justin.
Information,
inspiration, and imagination
to buy undervalued property.
It's like Sesame Street.
No big plans. Opening day for T-ball. That's it.
Oh, yay.
So,
good. Hey, we'll talk to you on your event here.
Yep. Cool. Saturday, we'll see you at 3.
Cool.
Our time 3, your time 1.
Yep.
All right, great.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
See you soon.